Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over. And the Cubs have finally won it all. 8-7-10.
When I was only 15, and I was feeling better than I got clean. But when I got out, there was no one there for me. It's kinda crazy how they care when you're okay, but when you're crashing out, they don't know what to say. You only care about yourself, that's what you do. I should have realized that this is nothing new.
Welcome to the Chicago Cubs 2016 team, something, I don't know what we're going to call it, rebuild. The home of the 2016 World Series champion Chicago Cubs. Yeah, it's been a fall from grace for Chicago since then, and we find them currently in a position where they don't really have an identity anymore. The 2016 Chicago Cubs won the World Series after coming back from a down 3-1 against the Cleveland baseball team in that year, and they did that surrounding by a core of Kris Bryant, Javier Baez, and Anthony Rizzo, as well as a bunch of other players that they built that team around. And one of those players being, with Kris Bryant, a MVP, and they had a Cy Young pitcher in Jake Arrieta. And they had a great closer in Aroldis Chapman and a bunch of fantastic players. And so we kind of want to try a similar strategy, I guess, with this build. The Chicago Cubs have lacked an identity since those players have all left in 2019, where, you know, Baez went to the Mets, Bryant went to the Giants, and Rizzo went to the Yankees. Because of that, and because of their no longer, or, you know, the core elements of that team no longer being a piece of this, we find ourselves with a team that has a lot of young prospects, interesting players, yet I don't necessarily see the Cubs as anything kind of notable. Now, they are actually kind of lucky that those core players that they had are gone. When we go and we take a look at some of these players, we've already kind of seen them in various rebuilds that we've done so far on this channel. If you have not seen this seen my channel and all this, you haven't not been presented. But if you play MLB.Show, you know that Kris Bryant is not good in this game. I don't even know what position they have him in this roster. Right field, 66 overall on this roster. Then you have Javier Baez, who is on Detroit and is like a 60-some overall. We saw him recently. And you have Anthony Rizzo, who is a bad contract over on New York. So, you know, it's okay that these players are no longer part of this team. Yet the problem with it for them is that the identity of the team no longer really exists. Who are the Chicago Cubs? Is it Seiya Suzuki? Is it Cody Bellinger? Is it Ian Happ? Is it Shota Imanaga? Who really knows? And so I think it's an important element that we need to design a new culture for this team, a new core, a new nucleus to build around. We don't want to just win a World Series with this team. These are just a random amalgamation of players. They're not anything special. At least I don't know if Cubs fans feel that they are, but they kind of are. Well, let's consider where the Cubs are, right? I grew up as a Brewers fan, so obviously the Cubs have been a rival, and the NL Central has been a big focus. I would say for a lot of my life now, the Brewers have been a pretty good team in this division, and the Cardinals have dominated this division as well. The Cubs find themselves popping up when the other teams are not good. They're always there, but they really only ever are dominant when it's the Reds or the Pirates are the other good team, not when the Cardinals or Brewers are. And so they kind of are this large market roster, which I think everybody can respect Chicago to being. But I feel like when you think of them, the Cubs, and their identity in baseball, considering large markets, they feel more like the Angels in LA or the Mets in New York, and not as a secondary team. The White Sox are definitely, I think, the secondary team when it comes to Chicago, but it just doesn't feel like the Cubs, as an NL team, have ever taken advantage of the fact that they are a large market, that they could end up being dominant, and they could spend as much money as possible. Yet it's mainly because it feels like when they do spend money, it's not on the right guys, it's not on the right talent, and the guys end up not really lasting long, or they go for a while. And now obviously there's, different aspects of this rule. You've got the whole Sammy Sosa era, you have great players earlier than that and a great history of Cubs players, but it still feels like this is a team that should be more dominant than it has been. And so we are going to try to kind of focus on what is now going to be considered their golden era, that 2016 team. So our goal in this rebuild that we are going to attempt to accomplish is we want to build a core of 3 players. 3 infielders preferably. I want to try to recreate the Kris Bryant, Rizzo, and Baez situation, but it might not be possible. And with that, we want one of those core players to be an MVP, or at least in the MVP race. Thankfully, we are in the NL, so we don't have to deal with, the Juan Soto, Trout, Riley Green effect that I feel like I've had a lot of lately. Unless Soto signs with the Reds or Pirates, which he likely will, knowing how my luck is here. But we want to attempt to get that MVP, at least in that race, to try to match our Kris Bryant. And I think part of that is we want to build this team through the draft. So there are a lot of guys here. Seiya Suzuki, you got Wisdom, who's probably got to go, Nico Horner, Cody Bellinger being the big one. And we can still keep a couple of them, but I think we might need to make a big sell-off at the deadline in the first season as we start a temporary little mini tank. And the reason I say this is because I think the best way to build this team is to build a young core and then add a bunch of veteran free agent pieces at once we have established what that core is. Build it from the ground up like a real team would, like the 2016 Cubs actually did. Few rookies, few young prospects that are really important and valuable, and then we add the rest at the end. And so that is going to be our goal. We will attempt to draft 3 stud players that I want to have in this lineup. I prefer them to be 90 plus, but I don't know if they'll get there by that time. So we'll pursue 85 plus for all of them. But an MVP, and then, you know, hopefully another World Series for our Chicago Cubs. The other part is I want to have a top pick. So I want to get top 3 picks. So we are going to attempt to tank. This is not going to be one of those where I'm going to try to hope and get a swing at the end. We're also not really going to focus on pitching. I think all of our pitching is going to be free agent pitching. I would rather not really build around. I mean, we can build around Shota, but like the rest of it, I don't really think that's that important. We can go sign guys. That feels like more of a Chicago thing to do. Sign a bunch of pitchers, build around a core team. So that is what we are going to do. We are going to start our tank with our Chicago Cubs once again, as we are going to try to start from the beginning and rebuild this team with the draft picks rather than anything else. So, speaking of draft picks, let's get ourselves towards the draft, plus a few of those trades that we're going to make before then. Our first real big sell-off deal we are going to make in order to attempt to start this tank is going to be selling everything to the Giants. Now, these are not necessarily the most realistic moves. I fully understand that. But our goal is to get prospects back that I can use, and I need a tank to get high picks and high pick chances in order to be able to build core elements of our team. I don't want to just, you know, trade for top prospects. I don't want to go just talk to the Mets and try to get like Jet Williams to be the shortstop and do all of that. So I want to, like, I'm trying to get pitching prospects because I don't want to have to worry about them or scout or draft them. So I am trading Dansby Swanson, Mike Tauchman, and Patrick Wisdom to the Giants to get 3 pitching prospects, 2 relievers, and a starter. That way I have some core elements to kind of work with and gets these guys off the team so that way we don't have to worry about playing them this season. Now, the big trade that we're going to do is actually going to be trading away Cody Bellinger for Mlbtheshow. Now, I hope Cubs fans are like, okay, like they see this as like, all right, I like Cody Bellinger, but I also do think that like it doesn't really fit when you've got guys like PCA and, you know, we have, we just have a lot of interesting players. You've got PCA, you've got Alcantara. I know you've got, where is... Oh, maybe, okay, just PCA and Alcantara. Brennan Davis. That was what I was thinking. But we have a bunch of really interesting younger prospects in the outfield. Plus, you still got Ian Happ, and I think Seiya Suzuki should be a part of this team. And so I do actually want to get something back in this deal because it is Cody Bellinger, and so I want to get Mlbtheshow. One thing that the Orioles always do often is they let Rutschman go for Basayo, and so I kind of want to see if we can force their hand to keep Rutschman around on this team, and also get Basayo, interesting catcher prospect, because I think anybody who is like watching the Cubs knows that Miguel Amaya is not good. He's not good at all. So we do need catchers. And like I said, this is a full-on attempt to tank this season so I can get a high pick. So we will be trading away some of our best players. So we're going to make this move. Bellinger and Merriweather for pitching prospect and Mlbtheshow. So I think it's safe to say, now that we have done those sales, trying to get rid of some of those players, I think we are in a good position to tank to try to get a top pick. I do think, like, yeah, is there a problem with trading away that level of talent that we just traded away? Yeah, probably. But I think anybody who knows and has watched the Cubs knows that it's not going to get you anywhere, and it's a lot of salary. So we need to be bad to get top picks, because I'd rather have the chance at getting a generational guy if we want to try to get a MVP caliber third baseman in the draft. We need to end up getting like top 5 picks. So this is going to be this horrible lineup we are going with this year. I signed some free agents, including JD Davis, Kyle Lewis, and Adalberto Mondesi. Yeah, it's not a good team. Our closer, Mark Leiter, has a 2.25 ERA right now with 18 saves, only 1 blown save. So I'm going to trade him in division to the Cardinals to grab 2 relieving prospects that are very young in Matthew Liberatore and Gordon Graceffo. Kind of, I guess, fleece them a little bit. Cardinals are in first place in the division, so they can go contend with Mark Leiter and we can get younger. And Hector Neris has a 1.04 ERA. A lot less innings, but we're going to tell him he's going to go play for Milwaukee. We're going to get Owen Miller and Luis Lara back. You know, feed the competition. Taking a look at the 2024 draft, this is a draft where I honestly can say, I wish I had like 5, 6, 6th round, like, or not 6th round, but like 4th, 5th, 6th round picks. Because there's so many like really interesting players very, very late. Now we have pick 14, meaning we're probably not going to get the top guy, this Richard Marquez guy who looks like, no doubt, this would be the type of player that would likely change the franchise. Now, I don't necessarily know if he's MVP caliber, but he'd be consistent. He might be the Rizzo on this team, you know what I mean? So, interesting. There's an outfielder who's really good. I think knowing the types of players I'd usually like, Howie Lyon is a very, very interesting player, knowing he gets very good contact, good vision, good discipline, great on base. You know, just kind of like what I like. Now, I don't necessarily know if he's the best prospect for us here. There's this Nolan Russo guy who's a little bit closer, not as good, but he's 6'5", and has a pretty good and interesting bat. Bobby Carver has kind of lefty specialist abilities there. This pitcher is like a lock guaranteed thing. That's kind of something that you'd like to see, but I don't want to draft pitchers. And then really where it gets interesting is late. So Julio Velez here. But the further and further we go, the prospects, and you can see the potential ranges are kind of getting higher as I scroll, because the players are getting almost better. David Liu right here is 23. It's going to take him a while to get there, but I mean, 89 to 94 potential is a very, very good shot for a guy like that. Harold Perez is 88 to 93 as a utility bat. As a utility bat. Like, I'm drafting him if he's available early. I will draft him in the 3rd. Gary Sato, 86 to 91. Interesting first base. Can also play catcher, secondary. I want that. Babe Morrow, kind of a decent all-around guy. William Koo, 88 to 93, all-around player who can play the corners. Howard Munoz is a decent hitter and speed, 87 to 92 potential. Fred Borden, 90 to 95. He's really far away, but 90 to 95? Like, it's safe to say this is a very, very good draft. And the problem is we don't have extra picks. We just have our 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th and 6th. We have every pick. We don't have any PPI. We don't have any compensatory stuff. We just have our picks. So there goes Richard Marquez. This is kind of why I was saying I need to get these top picks, because one of the things that I would have kept the players that I traded for is if they could have gotten me compensatory picks, but there was no way they were going to actually do that. Howie Lyon's gone. Nolan Russo's gone. Okay, that changes things a little bit, because the 2 guys I wanted the most are gone. So do we take Bobby Carver, who is, I mean, interesting, but nothing great. Julio Velez is not necessarily a top end. This pitcher is insane and is the best player, but doesn't help us with our goals here. I think that's the problem, is like this would be an easy Velasco pick if I was, what am I doing? If I was being smart about it. But I'm not being smart about it. And I know I'm not being smart about it. And I don't necessarily care that I'm not being smart about it. I think we are going to go. Ooh, Vincent O'Connor's still here too. I think we're gonna go with Bobby Carver. Just don't know if he's gonna be great though. You know what? We're still gonna do it. He's got a shot to be a good contact bat for us. I know Velasco is the actual correct pick. I do want to kind of see how he progresses. This dude could be a Cy Young pitcher. But we're not going to get him. Richie Beckham. Kevin Reyes is still here. Tommy O. Julius Gutierrez. Marshall Schultz. David Liu. I think we will go... Perez is the guy I want next round. If he's the one I want next round, man, I should have probably just taken a pitcher. I should have just taken Velasco. Because I don't really like these second round guys. Shortstop, second base with outfield, secondary, but he's so far away. He's so far away. They're all so far away. All right, we're going to go Julius with this pick. I want Harold right now. David Liu is gone, so we missed out on him. But I can get Sato. And then I can get Borden. I get Freddie Navarro, Boyd, or Richie. We're going to take Richie. All right, we went all position players, all infielders too. We're probably going to do the same thing next year. Not all. We're probably just going to take like one. I should have taken Velasco with that first pick. Now that I think about it, that was the right move. Whatever. Hopefully Carver's great.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we made the wrong pick with Bobby Carver, but honestly, the rest of them, I'm okay. I think we did really well with the rest of those picks. Just Carver was a bad pick. We should have went with Velasco. We're gonna go check out and see what Velasco is. But Carver's not bad. He's just not as good as you would have needed him to be, picked over Velasco. The problem with the other guys is Gutierrez, Perez, Sato, Borden, and Beckham are all so far away. But they're all going to be very good, especially knowing their secondaries. Gutierrez is a nice contact guy with a third base, but Perez being able to be a utility bat, Sato with the catcher secondary, and then outfield secondaries for both Borden and Beckham. Carver will come up first. I don't know if he's going to be very good for us. Basically, what this means with this draft is it's going to take us several seasons to really see if this core is going to be good. I do think it will be. The problem is that we're also all college players. But maybe we'll tank and get a top-end guy. I'm going to scroll through. I want to see. We needed to go check our man. What did he end up being? 93 potential. Starting pitcher for the Twins. Yeah. Yep. Very good. Very, very good. I feel like we didn't even tank properly. 76 and 86, we missed the postseason, but like, what's frustrating is look how good we did in September. Like against teams we needed to do bad against. We sweep Oakland. We get 2 out of 3 against Pittsburgh. I mean, that alone would change things. Like, I don't know what that puts us odds wise, but it can't put us in a good position to get that top pick. Yeah. We're only... Okay. It's not going to be a great looking season for us in regards to getting ourselves our potential first pick. So Ozuna wins MVP on the NL side. On the AL side, it's Aaron Judge. Chris Sale wins the Cy Young. Finally getting his Cy Young, because I don't think he has one. Yep, 2024. Getting his Cy Young for the Atlanta Braves. Luis Castillo getting one on the AL side. Scrolling through, we didn't have anything. I kind of want to see. So our sell-offs were to Baltimore, San Francisco, the Cardinals, and the Brewers. And the Cardinals and Brewers didn't make it. And San Francisco got a 2 seed, and Baltimore got a 4 seed. All right, pitching rotation. He's probably why we struggled here. 295, amazing season for Shota Imanaga. I honestly wish that our pitching staff wasn't so phenomenal. I should have traded some of these guys. Hayden Wesneski with 108 ERA. So he gave up 2 hits and 4 runs with one out. Nice. Bullpen was good. I brought Alzolay up, and he gave up only 2 runs on the entire season. Then we have our closer. So our pitching staff has been phenomenal. And our lineups, that horrible lineup that I built, 286, 260, 299, 248. PCA got injured for the season, so Alcantara had to come up. He was bad. Lewis was bad. JD was 232. Nito 223, 207, 370. He didn't play. Owen Miller was 237, 289 on base. David Bodie was bad. Just wish they were a little worse. Okay. Let's see if we can help somebody make a World Series. The Yankees defeat the Dodgers. Nope, we had 0 impact in this one. Big money, no whammies. I mean, 11 is not bad either, but I'd prefer to be up in the top 3. Man, would it hurt to have a good season. Pick 11. So my attempts to tank were fruitless. And our team performed too well last year. Maybe we can get a inverse this season. We'll be like, okay, everybody sucks now. Starting rotation is going to be the same. We're not changing anything there. Imanaga, Steele, Brown, Assad, Wicks. And then the bullpen, we just got Sir Anthony Dominguez off of waivers. So really nothing changed there either inside the rotation. Lineup wise, I didn't make many changes. I brought in Goldschmidt because he was like free. So why not? And you gotta sell tickets. We gotta sell some tickets to Wrigley. And so we need some other interesting, aspects. So we brought in Paul Goldschmidt to play. But the actual signing that we made that was kind of interesting, I guess, is Garrett Hampson. Not like he's really anything special. It was just more like a utility bat that gets on base. I thought that would be helpful. Brought in Luis Urias as well. And yeah. Hopefully we suck. Starting the 2025 draft with, unfortunately, pick 11. After our attempted tank failed, we are in an awkward position where we probably won't get what we want. And also, this class didn't have a lot of infielders, at least not on the top end. There was a lot of outfielders, and there's a lot of interesting ones, too. We may end up just taking one. I know it doesn't fit what we necessarily need, but when you've got as many that look as good as they do, George Buchanan here, this guy especially, Brandon Mamula, who is from Illinois, so I think he's a great pick for us. Manny Medeiros. A bunch of really interesting outfielders. Jim Sanchez here too, that we could end up taking. The first infielder that looks good is this Yuichiro Taguchi from Massachusetts. I don't necessarily think he looks great, but could be interesting at second base. I also do like that's a power bat. There's a catcher here in Robbie Rodriguez, who I know we got Mlbtheshow, but I kind of want to draft him too in the second round. Him or this power hitting shortstop. Also, Howard Munoz, a guy that we scouted last year, is here and now looks even closer. I'll probably draft him if he's still on the board. So, starting the draft, I'm hoping that we can get Mamula, but I have my doubts. He looks really, really good, and I think there's a good chance he will be drafted before we can get to him. But maybe one of those outfielders to be available. Corey Prado is gone. And hopefully not Mamula. Okay, they took Jose Kieran, who was one who I didn't like. Now, let's just sim. Mamula is gone. But George Buchanan is not. George Buchanan is the one who looks a little bit more all around. I think we're just going to take Buchanan. He is the best player available. We will take George Buchanan. With our next pick, Ned Browning is still here. Top end pitcher. But I don't like the stats that he has. I don't need a catcher, but I just cannot help. When I see good fielding and good contact, I love it. Next pick. Ned Browning is still here. Do we just take him? I think we just got to take him. We got to take him. He's still there. And then we go Munoz or Conine. I think we'll go Munoz. Munoz, guy we didn't get to draft last year. Now we get to draft him this year. Conine's gone. I'm going to take Bobby Poe with this pick. And we can take Albert Walsh. Just see if there's any... Okay, there's not. Yeah, we'll just take Albert Walsh. So another draft goes by. Nothing real crazy. We are also failing the tank right now. For the second straight season. It is something that happens. I did just see that there was an injury and I didn't even read it. Great. 44 and 53, you would say, is not very good, but look, we're only 6 games out of the NL Central because the NL Central is garbage. You'd love to see it. Boom! George Buchanan is a beautiful pick. 94 potential. I love to see that. Like, kind of wasn't expecting that, honestly. Fantastic player. This dude's a beast. Great power, great contact. He's 19. He's not that far away. Only thing that sucks is he's not an infielder, so he doesn't really fit our goals. But yeah, he's so good. This is our best player right here. This is gonna be the future of this team. Robbie Rodriguez, potential wasn't as high as I would have liked, but I still like the contact and fielding. This is my favorite type of catcher. He is going to be a stud for us. I can guarantee that. I can't wait for him to get up. Browning was injured and honestly didn't get hurt that much. And Munoz, still far away, but I like the 89 potential. And Poe and Walsh, not that bad for their late picks. I do want to check. We want to scroll through quick. I want to see what Mamula was. Banya's. Okay, so honestly, we didn't get Mamula, but Buchanan was better. And yeah, that's a good thing to see. Looks like we didn't, and there was Taguchi, the second baseman. So I think that we made the right picks. Oh wow, Matthew Wood. We are finally in last in our division, and I can hope that we can continue that because I want a top pick next year, so that we can continue to build around the young guys that we got. Knowing now that George Buchanan is a higher overall and Carver's an older is a higher overall, those two will come up earlier as the young prospects in this core that we drafted. And then I'm hoping that all the guys that we drafted in that first draft that were lower overalls can come up after and end up being part of this. We will have to replace the pitching staff by then, knowing how far away our guys are at least. 71 and 91, another failed tank, kind of. I mean, I guess we're gonna have to actually check the standings to see where we actually ended up this year. Not liking what I'm seeing because of that. Juan Soto went to the Marlins. Of course, I did say that the NL was going to be easy, and of course he came to an NL team. Thankfully, it wasn't in division, but Shohei Ohtani wins the MVP on the NL side. On the AL side is Brent Rooker, now back with the Twins. Cy Young goes to John Gray and Shohei Ohtani. It's an interesting sim so far. We're not getting players that I normally see. Rooker gets a batting Did he get Triple Crown for Brent Rooker, baby? Okay, Brent Rooker, Triple Crown. Yeah, that's an interesting sim season. League leaders, Nico Horner in doubles, is actually kind of doing very, very well for us. Maybe I would have thought about trading him, but honestly, we'll kind of keep him around. He's playing well. He's a good leadoff hitter. Maybe we'll just kind of let him walk when his free agency comes. We can get a pick back for him. Just kind of part of like trying to rebuild this team strictly through the draft that you need to do. And yeah, pitching rotation. Not as good this year. Looks like bullpen. Alzolay didn't do as well as he did last year. Yeah. Worst season all around, it looks like for us. Dominguez 4-2. Almonte 6-7. Yeah. Not as good of a season for us pitching staff. Lineup wise, Nico Horner, who all got sent down. Owen Miller, 233, 237. Yeah, not really good season for him. Matt Mervis didn't even play. Nico Horner, 281. Seiya Suzuki, good season. Decent season from Ian Happ, getting on base, 365. Michael Bush played all right here. Oh, that's who got sent down. There's Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt in his season with us, 242, 115 hits, 13 home runs. Hopefully he sold some tickets. Luis Arias when he was up, 242, not bad. Madrigal 300. Yeah, nothing crazy from our whole lineup here. They weren't really good, which is fine. It's kind of what we were hoping for. Decent catcher season. And how many home? Yeah, I need more power. But I think I need to play more games with him. We'll make sure he plays more games. And how is Sampson? Because did he get sent down? Oh no, he got hurt. I forgot. Sampson got hurt. So yeah. Bad season. Standings wise, this is the important thing. In the NL, okay, so 71, that gives us 4th best odds. 5th, 6th, 7th. Okay. 7th best odds for the top pick. Honestly, if we get pick 7, that's okay too, but I would like to get a top pick in this upcoming draft. Let's sim our postseason. The Phillies defeat the Angels in the 2025 World Series. Good for the Angels for making it to the World Series. Your awards, Kyle Schwarber wins the World Series MVP. Postseason goes to Akil Baddoo and Mike Trout. You know, good for you, Mike Trout. Get into the World Series in 2025, finally. You just needed to get rid of Shohei. That's what it was. Shohei was just bad luck. All right. Well, at least they made it. They didn't win, but they made it. Yeah. Probably see you at the lottery. Give me pick number 1. I want number 1. Number 1. Pick 1 of 1, preferably. Number 1? 1. 1! Oh my god! Let's go, baby! Pick number 1! Starting 2026, we made, once again, no changes to the pitching rotation. The only thing I did was I got Eniel Dos Santos off of waivers, which I think is a nice pickup for the bullpen, as we did need a little bit more bullpen. I guess I got Liam Hendricks for nothing as well. Old man Hendricks to be a setup man. So I guess we made 2 minor bullpen additions. And then in the actual lineup, Justin Foscue off of the Rule 5 for this upcoming season. Otherwise, team's exactly the same going into this year. And we have pick number 1. Pick number 1. The 2026 draft, we have pick 1. Now, there was a lot of very good players. There's a lot of very interesting players. However, I was not necessarily certain while going through it that there was anybody who was crazy good. However, through our scouting, we did find a guy who is considered to be draft rank number 1 for us, who we fully scouted. And while he doesn't have pure power, while he doesn't look like he is special at everything, he's a second baseman. He's got a secondary position of shortstop. He can play the outfield. I mean, he's short, but defense is good, contact's good, power is good. His vision and discipline aren't that great, so he might strike out a lot. But this is the guy. There were a few other players that were interesting that I had up there that I thought could have been the pick. There's a first baseman that I liked a lot. I can show him. So this Mlbtheshow looked very, very good, but I think, you know, Case was better. And Delaney looks really good as a bat. But, you know, you got the number one guy on the board. You got the number one pick. We're drafting Aldn Case with the first overall pick of the 2026 draft. Second baseman, Aldn Case. I will be curious to see what Delaney and yep, he went second. Probably deservedly so. I will be really curious to see what Delaney is. I think that, I mean, that guy is legit, and I'll be curious to see what that second, what Mlbtheshow is. So, literally, my top three guys on my board went 1, 2, 3. So, we'll be curious to see. We'll definitely have to take a look at the A's and Marlins. And then they took Ken Francisco. That was my fourth guy on the board. So, all right. Our next pick. Do we take pitcher? Juan Ramirez is pretty good, but he's a 50. Yeah. We need some pitching. We'll take Juan Ramirez. And then we'll take Samuel Malanca. Do I go Prince Wallace? Yep. Oh, Rob Loeb's going to. Okay. Abdul McMillan. And Carmen Perez or Ken Barrett. I think you gotta go for the guy who's probably the highest potential. We will take Ken Barrett. Let's go check out and see what he is, man. Let's see what he is. Let's go. 93 potential. Aldn Case at second base. He's a small little guy out there at second, but he's got power and fielding. All right. I like it. I like it. Malanca wasn't that good, but Juan Ramirez was. Prince Wallace is pretty good. Ken Barrett ended up being pretty good. McMillan, not so much. But Aldn Case, this is our guy. I kind of like the core we built. Now I just need these guys to progress. Now we do need to go check. We need to go look. What did we get? Ken Francisco, 87 potential, more power than anything. Okay, he was interesting. Victor Bourbon was a catcher I liked. 95 potential for him. We didn't need catcher, so not too bad. Ooh, Romeo Freeman, 92 potential. I didn't even see this guy early. He was not even on my board. Rob Delaney is mainly a bat, 86 potential, but honestly, with those hitting stats already, 86 potential, this dude is gonna... He might win. He might win an MVP. And Mlbtheshow, 90 potential. Okay. I think we got the best player. And that best player is Juan Ramirez. No, just kidding. Okay. Aldn Case. We now have a decent core. So if we look at our depth chart, a couple years in the future, and just take a look. Oh, we can't see him. But you got George Buchanan in the outfield. You have Carver at short. You have Gutierrez coming up. Let's look at 2030. Carver, Basayo should be up. This doesn't show let's actually go look at our roster now. Okay, so our pitching, whatever. We'll figure that out. But at catcher, we have Basayo and Rodriguez. That's a good core to build around. At first, we will have Bobby Poe, who we drafted, Fred Borden, Gary Sato. All of them should be up. And Poe is the worst one of these, but Sato also has a catcher secondary. So we might not really even have to. If all these guys end up being good, we might not even have to do much beyond that. At second, we obviously now have our new guy. We have Gutierrez as well, which is a good pick that we made. Did we draft? No. But Gutierrez at second. Where is was he a third baseman? Or was he a shortstop? I don't have a third baseman. We have Bobby Carver, who is already ready to come up. Harold Perez. This was the other guy that I really liked at shortstop. He's pretty far away. Howard Munoz is pretty far away. And then in the outfield, we obviously have George Buchanan. So I think we're in a very good position to look at these guys that we've drafted and say, I think we have our core. Now I hope we get another high pick here, or another really good pick with the next draft. And also, we need these guys to progress, especially some of these younger guys like, or older, but lower overall guys like Harold Perez. We need him to progress fast. We need these first basemen to really progress fast, Sato and Borden, to get up here and be ready at the time when our guys are ready. This team is going to be good. I think we've got our core. So thankfully we had pick 1 last draft because we're already winning our division. I mean, okay, the NL Central is not good. So 90-72 is a very good season for us. We win the division. We'll be taking on the Brewers in the first round because of our, lower seed here, Miami. Oh, I guess they have Soto. No awards for us. Tyler Glasnow wins MVP. I assume also Cy Young in that case, as it's Dodger. Rafael Devers wins MVP on this side. Brent Rooker in third place. Yeah. Okay. I think we need to... Oh my God. And the Marlins too are good. They have a Rookie of the Year. We're going to need to go take a look at some of the standings here because if this is 111 wins, that makes sense. So they had 111 wins. Dodgers are dominant this season. 890 and 545 is a crazy split. That is a crazy split. Okay. League leaders, Juan Soto in batting average, Christian Yelich in second place in batting average, Rafael Devers and David Fry in second on this side. Lots of guys with over 200 hits, including Nico Horner. Good for us there. They only had David Fry over 200 hits on that side. Home run leaders, Soto with 41, Shohei with 41. So not a lot of home run power endeavors over here. Nothing from us. Our bats still need to improve, but I do like our pitching so far. So let's go take a quick look. Pitching rotation. Shota Imanaga, very good. Justin Steele with Steele, not Seal. With a very good season. Ben Brown, great pitching. Jordan Wicks was the worst one here, and not bad. Probably deserves to be more of a bench pitcher. But man, Jameson Taillon has been great in that role for the last several seasons. Wisniewski was good. Beck probably shouldn't be up. 4.7, 3.24 there, 3.58, and then I think they sent down Liam Hendricks, who had a 2.7, and didn't play a lot though. And Sean Gell, I think that's how you pronounce it. 57 innings, 3.28 ERA for him too. So really good pitching from us this season. Taking a look at the lineup. Let's see, did they send anybody down? Owen Miller got sent down despite getting a 338 on base percentage. I'm going to keep him around if he continues to play like this. Sammy Vasallo will probably be up next season. Foscue was not good, but hey, you take advantage. I think when you grab a guy like Justin Foscue in the Rule 5 pick, you're kind of expecting him to be a lower tier bench bat, but we're basically bringing him in so that we can have the rights to him for the next 6 seasons. That's why I wanted him. Otherwise, it looks like everybody else in this lineup we didn't bring up. So back to our MLB lineup. Madrigal, 183, not good. Alcantara, 188, not good. 227. 237 from Bernal, not that bad as a catcher. Fantastic season from Nico Horner, whose contract is up. I'm hoping that he will get paid. We will take the draft pick for him. Obviously, this dude produces very, very well. This is a guy who would, in most cases, be somebody who you would re-sign. However, that is not our intention. We do not intend to build around Nico Horner. So he is a guy who we will let walk in free agency, and we can hope that we can get a pick. I mean, we'll give him a qualifying offer. If he accepts the qualifying offer, I might give him a contract extension post that, just because then at that point, I'm not going to get a pick for him. Garrett Sampson, not that great. Has not been a very good signing for us. Seiya Suzuki, 281 with 23 home runs, continuing to hit pretty consistently here around this 300 and getting on base a lot. I like that. Michael Busch had a very good season for us here. 376 on base percentage is very good. I like to see that with 29 home runs. Morel wasn't that bad. I still want to see more power. I know that he can get to here, so I want to see it. He's getting more doubles than home runs, which I guess is okay. But he did regress in the power aspect. Ian Happ is still a bad contract. We are going to let him walk. 361 on base has been good, but not worth that kind of money. Finally, PCA is up to 241, 315. This is still not good, but it's something. So not a very good lineup. I'm going to go adjust, and then our lineup and bullpen, and then we will play the Brewers in the wildcard round. Starting game one against our big rival, the Milwaukee Brewers, we have Imanaga versus Cease. Game two is going to be Steele versus Peralta, and if we get to game three, it's Ben Brown versus Chris Paddock. Obviously, this is a bad division, so it's two not very good teams. Hopefully, we can get it with the pitching, but if we don't get any offense, 0-9 in game one. Game two, Steele versus Peralta. 7-3 gives us a game three of Ben Brown versus Chris Paddock. And we lose to the Brewers 2-3. I want to check that box score. We gave up the runs in the sixth. We had the lead, but it looks like that is a 2 RBI home run probably from Bryce Terang to give us that loss. So, yeah, that'll do it as we end that season. And the Phillies defeat the Orioles in the 2026 World Series in 7 games. Take a look at the awards. Mlbtheshow wins the World Series MVP. Postseason goes to Brandon Marsh. And on the other side, it's Jackson Holliday as the Phillies win back-to-back World Series in 2025 and 2026. Starting 2027, coming off of our division title in 2026, I think this will be an interesting year. We're not going to have a top-end pick, and I didn't get Nico Horner back because he signed with a different team for a lot of money. So it's safe to say I don't really think we're going to compete. I don't like a lot of what we got. Our pitching rotation's still great. Imanaga, Steele, Brown, Assad, Wicks, basically the same team. I brought in Alex Vesia and AJ Puck this year. Daniel Palencia, too. So, not too much changing there, but the lineup had some changes because we did let go Horner because he was too expensive and a couple other guys. I brought in Anthony Rendon because his overall is going up, and I thought, yeah, why not? Let's take a shot. He actually was pretty good last year, and he was cheap, 4.5 with the team option. I'll take it, whatever. And then the other one I brought in was Jorge Soler, just because lefty stats. I like that as a lefty platoon because the outfielders that we've had so far, Alcantara, PCA, plus who's the other one who we brought up last year? I cannot think of his name. It's not Cassie. Is he a double-A guy right now? He's a right fielder. I cannot think of his name right now. Canario. Was not good last year. And so he's on waivers as well. Hopefully we'll keep him. But they haven't been very good. And so I'm going to have Soler come up here and be in a position where he can do lefties. And Canario can hopefully get a little bit better and our guys can get a little bit closer. Now, when it comes to the prospects, we talked about building this team around these prospects that we've drafted. And now we have a core of guys that are interesting. If we look at the top prospects in all of baseball, you can see George Buchanan up here. He is a top-end prospect, one of the best players that are in the league. that will be in the league. This is our center fielder for the future. I'm not using him yet. He will not come up. Let's just even go with this. Aldn Case was our number 1 overall pick this past season. He will be a couple seasons away before we bring him up. Mlbtheshow, I intend on waiting a little bit longer with him too, because I want to save, and this is actually why I'm doing it, I want to save their eligibility. Bobby Carver is probably ready to play, but I think we're going to bring him up either during September this season or next season, because I want to make sure that these guys like Carver can still play when a guy like, what's a good example? Borden. When a guy like Borden can actually come up and play for us, because I think it's essential. If we're going to build a team that wins a World Series around a young core, you need all of those players to be up at the same time. And I want to make sure they all are. And in order to do that, we need to hold off on Carver, Buchanan, Case, the guys that are closer, for as long as possible. Strictly with the intention of holding them so that the other guys will be up at the same time. So I don't think we're going to be super competitive this year. We probably will not win our division. I know that the Brewers are a very good team this year, second ranked. They brought in a bunch of free agents. So we're probably not winning the division. But hey, if we end up having another great pitching season like we have for the last several seasons, we could get a wild card. So yeah, I'll see you at the draft. Starting the MLB draft, I think we are in kind of an interesting spot in this draft because there's a couple guys that I like, and I'm wondering how much we can play this into our favor. And the reason for this is because of this prospect right here, Richard Parker. Richard Parker looks like a for sure thing, contact vision, discipline, fielding. Great player. He is non-ranked by the MLB. He has a bonus demand of only 300,000, meaning he believes he's probably around a 4th or 5th round pick. We do have 2 seconds because of Nico Horner, and so I'm wondering if what we can do here is try to wait until our 2nd round pick for Richard Parker and see what we can do with, like, maybe getting Mario Nunez, probably not, but maybe getting Rob Deal. Maybe Freddie Castilla, who I like a lot too. I think it depends. I think it's if one of these guys, Deal, Castilla, or Nunez, or one of the pitchers are available, we will take them over Parker. But if none of them are, we will take Richard Parker with that first pick. Chris Enriquez goes number 1. Vernon Silva goes number 2. And I bet you there's this Ochoa pitcher probably goes here. Nope. Ahmad Cohen goes 3. So let's see what we have available to pick. All right. I think they just kind of made this easy for us because we could go with Donald Perez, or we could just go with Richard Parker, or we could take the pitcher. I do like closers, but no, I think you got to go safe. We're just going to take Richard Parker. I could have probably taken advantage of it and waited for him, but it's not worth it. Because if we don't get him, there's nothing. This is not a very deep class. I scouted a lot of relievers because of that, because I just didn't see a whole lot here in this draft class. There's a couple interesting players, but yeah, nothing real special. I think we will take a reliever then with this pick. Do I go Lawrence Lowe? No, we'll go Bradley Dahm. With our 2nd round pick, with our compensatory pick, I'll take Stahl. And I think we're starting to look good on actual like position player picks. I might take another just because I think that we could. Like Richard Hess here. Yeah, we'll take Richard Hess. That's fine. But I think the next draft we need to just start drafting pitching because we're starting to get to a point where I don't have enough pitchers on my team. So I need to start filling up that spot in the entire like lineup, all that. Yeah, you're so far away though. You're not even worth picking. I guess I take a first baseman. And whatever, we'll take Ryan Rainey. So, I don't think it was a very good draft. Okay, so Richard Parker was a good pick, 92 potential. He's not that far away. Decent contact, good vision. Will definitely be a piece to this young core that we are adding. Stahl wasn't really anything special. Hess could be something interesting, but he's so far away that I don't necessarily know if we're going to see it. Otherwise, yeah, we didn't really do too well. Dom, I mean, 79 potential as a reliever is not that bad, but was not a very good draft for us. Donald Perez, I think, was one of the pitchers we were looking at. 91 potential. I think that's okay. Willis McCabe was the closer we were looking at, who was good, but I'm not necessarily mad because I think our first pick was fine. And then the question is the rest of that draft. Okay, Enriquez was a generational. We just got the first pick in the wrong year. So I don't think we did that bad. We got the guys that we could have. Mario Nunez was pretty high, so we scouted him. Willie Hester was pretty good, but he's a 47. He would have never played. Because we're starting to get to the point where that becomes the issue more than anything of like, these guys are so far away. Are they ever going to play for us? Who knows? Looking at this season, we are 47 and 67. We are bad. Nico Horner was doing so much for us. I actually want to check. He went to the A's, not helping them out. So, yeah, we can chalk this season up to probably be a big L for us. Just like mid after mid after mid every season. 74 and 88. We missed the playoffs and don't even put ourselves in a really good position to get a top pick because 74 wins is not top pick worthy. It's not that bad though. It's the seventh best odds again. Or no, sixth best odds this time. So, not a good team. MVP goes to Brandon Marsh, with Glasnow getting runner-up. Glasnow is insane in this one. Absolutely crazy season from Glasnow. Getting a Cy Young and MVP so far in our Sims. Jordan Alvarez wins MVP on the AL side. Garrett Cole getting the Cy Young on the AL side. So, not necessarily anything crazy. Michael Busch walked a lot. You like to see that. Our division rival is good. As they're the 2 seed. So, yeah. Not a good team. Let's go check our rotation. Shota, Steele, Brown. Brown kind of regressed. But Shota and Steele were good again. Assad was good again in the games that he played. Bullpen was much weaker this year. Did not see the level of production that we had last year. Jordan Wicks, 3.8, probably shouldn't have been sent down. Chris Clark, 4, not that bad. Could have been up. Sean, I don't know why they're sending him down. He's been actually quite good for us in the time that he's been up. So next season, we'll make sure that we have him up the whole time. Let's go check AAA quick. Owen Miller got sent down again. Per usual, 228, 284 on base percentage. I really only had him because of the eligibility of like playing several different positions. It's been nice. He gets on base. Not great level. This was not a good season for him, but whatever. Christian Encarnacion. Not good, but hey, just like Foscue, we stole him from another team. Canario, not good. Yeah. Team was not good this year. Aiden McGreary was all right. So, MLB lineup. 206, 260. Jorge Soler was good. We might. We'll extend that option. He can come back next season. Buchanan came up in September. Wasn't good in those months that he came, or in those games that he came up in September. Foscue. 237. Yeah, nothing crazy. Yeah. Michael Busch was good. So basically, Michael Busch was good. Everybody else looks like they were kind of meh this season. Actually, PCA was pretty good. So I think we have something with Busch and PCA. Everybody else kind of sucks. Let's sim to the offseason. The Dodgers defeat the Orioles in the World Series as they no, I want to see our awards as they win their first one since 2020, I want to say. And the Orioles lose back-to-back as in a postseason MVP, Jordan Westburg this time, and Mookie Betts. The White Sox made it to the ALCS. All right. See at the beginning of next season. We'll probably bring up some of the guys now. Being a bad team means high lottery odds. Give us top 3, please. I don't need number 1. I just want top 3. I mean, I'd like number 1. Oh my God. All right. Sweet. Number 1. We have the first pick. I think our guys are probably a little bit still like they're now on the edge. A lot of the prospects that we drafted are getting close, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Pitching rotation. We have Imanaga. I let Steele walk. I got Cade Povich off of waivers. I'll take it. It's not normally a guy you can get. McDermott's up now, I believe. I can't remember which trade we got him in. I think he might have been part of the... Am I thinking of him, or am I thinking of Wisenhunt? We got those two in the trades for the Bellinger and all of them. And then the only big offseason move we went out is I wanted to get a closer. So I went and signed Andres Munoz till he is 36, I want to say. 7 years, I think 50-some million, 55, I want to say it was. So that we would have a long-term closer. I also do think we have bullpen arms that are ready, but we now have a pretty good set of bullpen arms, including all of our pitching that we have on the ready to go for this upcoming season. Wicks is down. Looking at the MLB, I got a lot of guys off waivers and in the Rule 5. Henry Malloy was in the Rule 5, so I got him, snagged him. I thought that would be an interesting outfielder. I got off of waivers. I got Brock Wilken and Tyler Black from the Brewers to play shortstop and third baseman. I've never really seen Brock Wilken play in this game because he just generally never gets a chance to. So I thought it'd be interesting to have him come in. That leaves Morel at DH. Alcantara, the outfield is still a little bit messy. The only one that's really a certain thing is PCA, and Basayo is up at catcher. So the only certain positions that I have locked up are PCA right now at catcher, Bush at first, and Basayo at catcher. PCA at center fielder, Basayo at catcher. Because I think what we're going to do, some point through this season, Bobby Carver's going to come up. We are going to have George Buchanan come up. I signed George Buchanan to a ridiculously stupid long contract for $240 million. Well, he's 35. He's locked in. Buchanan will be here forever. He'll come up at some point this season. I am just going to wait to see which of these outfielders does not perform. He will take the place of whichever one does not. Whether it's Alcantara, Canario, Davis, or Henry Malloy, one of them. I'd prefer it. None of them have options, I don't think. Does Canario have options? No. Only Alcantara has options, but he is also the one who's performed the best so far. Whichever one of those guys do not perform well is which spot that he will take, unless it's Jorge Soler. If it's Jorge Soler who does not perform well, he will be DFA'd. So that is our outlook for the season. We have the first overall pick. Ourselves a generational talent. Talking about prospects and our depth chart, I want to check. Depth chart's always a little bit of a mess in this game. So 3 years in the future, what do they see? They see PCA, Buchanan, Cassie out in the outfield. That's all right. Case at second base at a 90 overall. Shaw at shortstop, not Carver. Where do they have Carver? They don't have Carver anywhere. They have him as a backup. Parker up. Basayo up. Morel, Carver, Black, Bush, and I think we still have like another year or so until we start to see the first baseman come up. I think then one thing too that they do is at some point they start to believe that these guys will be, lost, that we won't be able to keep them all. I also signed PCA to an extension as well. So PCA also got an extension until 2036. So that looks like the team. I think we are in a good spot. We will see what we get with the first pick. I'm kind of hoping, based on our prospects that we have in our organization, that we get a first baseman, because we're still talking about some older guys, you know, at first. I mean, Encarnacion, Poe, Sato, Borden, like these guys are already 25. And I hope that they can become something, but they're far away still. Second base, I mean, Gutierrez is good. You obviously still have, yeah, they're just far away. And so we're in an interesting spot with a lot of these prospects. We're going to see. I hope that these guys can progress and get up to the majors in like 2 seasons. We will not be able to really start contending with this roster till 2030, I don't think. That's why I've kind of let a lot of these guys walk. Still trying to field a team that sells tickets and is interesting, but we haven't necessarily pursued much. This draft could change everything, though, if we get a really good prospect. So let's see what we end up getting. Starting the 2028 draft already. First overall pick again. And while I don't want to take another shortstop, this is the number 1 ranked guy. And I don't necessarily see it. Looks like he's more defensive. But he's number 1 ranked. This is the number 2 ranked. So the question is, do you like this guy? Do you like this guy? I'm just going to take the safer pick. I'm going to go with the guy who's higher on the board. So when we start our draft, we are taking Bobby Pidheichuk with the first overall pick. We will double check when it comes to the drafts, like what else we could do, or not what the other guy was. I want to see, what we kind of gave up on. And I think for the rest of this draft, we might focus on pitching, because I would say Fisher Ibarra. So he went to the A's. So we'll have to look at the A's. But now we just got to focus on pitching for the rest of the draft. Pablo De Los Santos is still here. But Bill Dempsey is still here. Good. I do like this first baseman. If these guys are non-ranked, if he's non-ranked and he's non-ranked, there's a closer here too that is available. I think we're going to go with this first baseman. I know I just said I was going to take pitchers, but see, with these guys not ranked, we can kind of guarantee a chance at getting them. And I think we got the 4 guys I wanted the most out of anybody in this draft. I will get, first off, let's take a look, make sure I didn't miss anybody who was cool. Larry Henderson's still here. That's not bad. Escobedo is decent. Let's do that. And with the next one, we can take Baez or we can take Henderson. Let's take Henderson. And that is the end of that draft. We will take a look. We are 45 and 51, meaning that we're probably not going to make the playoffs. I might make some trades here at the deadline to get some pitching talent and pitching prospects in our system. So the first part of this fire sale is going to be Shota Imanaga. He is starting to regress as he enters his age 34 season. I think that we need to capitalize on whatever we can with him. I signed him to an extension. And also, that's not a bad idea. If he does regress, like, we can pin him on another team. And so we're going to try to pin him on the Reds. We're not going to get the best prospects in return. But we're going to get prospects that I need. And that is starting pitchers with options, young relief pitchers that I can kind of stash in my system, and a closing prospect. And that's what we're getting from the Reds for Shota Imanaga. Speaking of options, we're going to trade 3 guys that we don't have options on. I do think that our outfield is getting a little crowded, and we are once again going to try to get a couple pitching prospects. We are trading them to Baltimore, continuing to stack that Baltimore outfield for us, giving them Brennan Davis, Alexander Canario, as well as Matt Mervis. I have a good feeling that Canario and Davis are not going to fit in this team's future. So we are going to move them. and in turn, and also Matt Mervis, who is already 29 and still has not found his place in this team. So, and we're just gonna get pitching prospects. Urban, and then right here, Urban is an Urban. Urban, Pringle, Haley are all good prospects. I think they can all have some use for us. And the last part of this sell-off is we are going to trade to the division-leading Seattle Mariners. Alex Vesia, a reliever who I do not think we will bring back next season. And in turn, we will get 3 prospects, Alex Dotson, Nathan Cahill, and William Callaway, who was a shortstop who I really liked when I was scouting. And I remember wanting to draft him in the late picks, and they got him, so I'm taking him. We're also going to move Javier Assad, who is pitching at a 2.28 ERA right now this season. I'm going to move him now while he still has some value. And we are going to get first base prospect from the Cardinals, Edmund Link. So with our number 1 pick, Bobby Pidaychuk. I hope that's how you pronounce it. 95 potential. Looks more like a lefty platoon type guy. Not a platoon, obviously. You wouldn't platoon a guy that's your first overall pick. But better against lefties than he is against righties. Will be interesting to come up once we actually, build that core around the guys that we have with Carver, and we've got a lot of infielders, and I think they're all going to be pretty decent. This Bill Dempsey guy was also pretty, pretty set as well here too. Far away, but 93 potential is nice to see. Carmen Castillo, 85, could be an interesting first baseman. De Los Santos is pretty decent, and then even those last picks, Escobedo and Henderson, were not necessarily that bad. I do want to go check. We had the first pick. Did we miss out on anything? Did we get the best player? Stobe was good. Delgado was good. Holiday, Jack Holiday at second base was a 95 potential. Not as close, so not as good, but we did have him on our board as a potential guy, as well as Stephen Holiday. Andres Nunez was a guy who I looked at but wasn't that interesting. Casey Courtney, didn't even scout him. Looked at Marvin Mays. Jesus Esposito was all right. And Fisher Ibarra. Nope, we made the right pick. Okay, I'm satisfied. 71 and 91. This might be one of our worst seasons yet, and that was because we did a sell-off. And it looks like some of the teams that we sold off to did well, especially looking over there at Seattle on that side. So, and Cincinnati too. Did I sell off to Cincinnati? Yeah, I think so. I forget very quickly who I make these trades to. Awards, we have an award winner. Rookie of the Year, Brock Wilken, who we picked up off of waivers. So, hey, we gave him a shot, and he won a Rookie of the Year. I will take that. MVP goes to Ronald Acuna. Jared Jones wins the Cy Young. On the other side, it's Logan Gilbert of the Rangers now, and Mark Vientos of the White Sox. Interesting to see him end up getting himself an MVP. And then I want to see that Rookie of the Year. Guy who got sent down. Basayo was the runner-up. Honestly, Basayo winning that would have been more helpful for us because we would have got ourselves a pick in return. But you know what? Not that bad. This team is pretty good. We got a Silver Slugger out of Michael Busch. I like the core. Taking a look at league leaders. Acuna. We had Michael Busch hitting 300 batting average. I mean, Busch has been great for us. I think I gave him, till 2032. He finally got a Silver Slugger. He's been fantastic at getting on base. This has been a phenomenal pickup in this trade here in 2023. He has been really, really good for us pretty consistently. So I've been glad to have him. He had a 900 OPS season for pretty much 3 years in a row. That is 4, 3, and 4 WAR. If he wasn't a first baseman, he'd be getting more. And then hits, no one over 200. Nico Horner, though, 184, who has been pretty good over there in Oakland. So, taking a look at our pitching rotation, which got really, really injured at the end of the season. Wisenhunt 4.6, 4.4, 3.5. Cade Horton only played one game, 5.23. The bullpen was pretty good. I like to see Munoz, 39 saves, 1.98 ERA. Beck was decent. Puck looks like he got lit up at the end of the season because he was sitting closer to that 2. And then Sean Hagel and Liberatore was good. And yeah, so kind of like what I saw from our bullpen. Our bullpen is pretty good here. Let's go take a look. I sent Carver up in September. He did not hit very well. He only hit lefties. 225, 311 on base. Not really anything special. Owen Miller hit 319, 373. Christian Encarnacion didn't play enough to really rack up any stats. Want to take a look at the actual MLB team. Henry Malloy was not necessarily that good, but we took advantage of being able to get him in the Rule 5, and I am happy with that as a potential player. Leonardo Bernal was not good. Doesn't even really bring good enough defense to really justify keeping him around. I think he's got to go, and we need to get another catcher. I don't know if Rodriguez is ready. Our, draft pick catcher, he looks like he didn't do well contact-wise, so we might wait on Rodriguez. I might bring up I might sign a backup defensive catcher for next season. Triantos wasn't really that great. Michael Bush was obviously fantastic. Matt Shaw, not the best. I mean, Matt Shaw could just be our backup catcher too on the bench. PCA 261, so pretty consistent here where we like to see. Morel 262. There's the home runs, baby. 32 home runs, 28 doubles. We finally got the power out of him as he hit enough to get himself 2.7 WAR. George Buchanan in his first almost full season, 16 home runs, 22 doubles, 284 on base percentage, and yeah, good. All right, I like what I see here. He is going to be phenomenal for us. Cassie 250 didn't have enough. Brock Wilken was your rookie of the year with 30 doubles and 15 home runs. That was a fantastic waiver wire pickup. And Tyler Black was also a pretty good waiver wire pickup, getting 25 doubles and a 243 average. And then Samuel Basayo as our actual catcher. So we are going to need to figure out what we want to do in the catcher spot. Let's sim the postseason. The Twins defeat the Brewers in the 2028 World Series. If we take a look at the awards, Joey Bart wins World Series MVP, Adames the postseason MVP, and Joey Bart. So that's actually probably a good thing now that we consider that we gave Cincinnati a player and St. Louis a player, meaning those teams did not do well, and it's going to hurt them in the long run as Milwaukee ends up being the better team in our division. Though our division is starting to look pretty good now, standing wise. You can see these three teams were all very, very good. The Cardinals were not necessarily as much, slipping. Taking a look at our odds, second worst team in the NL. So we will have fifth best odds for number one, or fourth best odds for number one. Not like we need number one again. Maybe I'll take a picture if I get, number one again. We'll see. Fourth best odds. How's it gonna go? Are we gonna get 3 number 1 picks in this rebuild? 3 number 1 picks? 3 number 1 picks? 3 number 1 picks? Oh my God, 8. Starting 2029, our team, I think, is in a position where we could make a wild card. However, the division is starting to look pretty good in the Central. Cardinals are not good, but Brewers, Pirates, and Red are all decent teams. So we do have something to contend with in this division. But I don't think we're that far off in a position where you could say, okay, we have no chance. This is a wild card potential team. Now, when it comes to our rotation, I made one signing, and that was Jose Soriano. I like what he could bring. He's been decent and average here in Los Angeles, and he was only less than 10 million a year. And so we need some sort of ace as a replacement for Shota for now, and Soriano makes sense as that player. We had to bring up Higgins in the bullpen, and yeah, so our rotation is now kind of a complete flip. We now have a lot of the guys that I think we could, and then I signed Gel to an extension because he's been phenomenal. in his time when he was up. Lineup wise, we made the only change we got was I think we brought in Cartaya off of waivers. I went to go sign a catcher. I signed Nick Fortes. However, he, when Cartaya popped up on the as available, he's just a better bat, so I'd rather have him be the backup. We are going to have Matt Shaw and Bobby Carver platoon at short as an interesting kind of platoon setup. But otherwise, the team looks like our outfield is going to be PCA, Buchanan, and Alcantara, with Henry Malloy as our bench outfielder. Our shortstop position is Shaw or Carver for now. I think there's a chance Shaw will be the one who is out the door whenever Pete Chuck shows up, and then Case too. At second, we're rolling Tyler Black this season, but we could also throw Foscue. Wilkin will stay at third after winning Rookie of the Year, though once again we could also go Foscue there. So we're pretty interesting. I think actually I'm gonna have this be a platoon here. I think, yeah, we're gonna go Foscue at second as a platoon bat against lefties, giving my DH spot a lefty. I can put anybody. I'm gonna go Shaw. Yeah, we can switch that up as we go. Anyways, wild card potential team. Young core. Now, if I look at top prospects in all of baseball, Peter Chuck is number 2. Haley, that we traded for, is number 6. Elton Case is number 13. Richard Parker, number 18. Barrett, we've got a very good farm system with a lot of guys that are on their way, including all those first basemen too who are on their way. They will have to be added to the 40-man soon. Sato and Borden. I hope that nobody takes them. They're about 2 seasons away from actually making this team. So we're probably about 2 seasons away from really contending for this process, unless Elton Case, Carver, and Buchanan can fulfill our designations, which I think they could. I mean, they're not technically infielders because of Buchanan's outfield position, but I think you can call like Kyle Schwarber as an example of that 2016 team as an outfielder. I know he's the one that they kind of got rid of. So Buchanan can be our Schwarber, and then you've got your Bobby Carver, who could end up being your, I don't know, he feels more like a Baez. I know it's not really true because I don't have a power guy right now, and Case could be our power guy. He's 5'7". It's funny. So maybe Case is our Chris Bryant. I don't know which guy could possibly win the MVP though. If I'm starting to look at this team, we'll see. Since we didn't get the best luck with the lottery, we are going to be at pick 8 this season, and there are a couple players that I really, really like. However, we don't know necessarily if they're going to be there, and they're kind of at a position that we have stacked. Now, in my opinion, my favorite prospect is Aaron McKnight. Very, very good bat. He's already 21. He's close, meaning that the Borden Sato thing we've been trying to make work for however many seasons, we don't have to wait anymore. This guy could come up and be phenomenal. There's just a good chance he's not there. So Peter Moyer is a good backup with the power at third base, and Marshall Wilcox is kind of like a lesser version of that. I think Wilcox will at least be available. However, Aaron McKnight is the priority. Then the rest of the draft is basically pitching. I know I scouted a bunch of outfielders too. Man, it just was not a deep draft. So we will see what we can get. The hope is I can get Aaron McKnight at the first pick, or at my pick at 8. But I have no idea. Thankfully, they take Jack Van Dyke. Fernando. Okay, that was the best pitcher. Probably the number 1 guy on the board. The number 1 guy was a closer, so. And Alex Sanchez. Okay, so that means we just need, I'm going to let these run, because we need 2 of these picks to go. If 2 of these picks go and McKnight, Moyer, and Wilcox do not get picked, Patterson goes, meaning that if Washington does not take one of these three, we are guaranteed to get one of these top three guys. They take Martinez. Boom. And they take Carrera and they take Torres, meaning I get Aaron McKnight. And all the rest of the good players are gone. Okay, Dan Villar is good, and Rodrigo Ramirez is kind of a lock pick that I'm going to take with that next pick. So the question is, do I go Ricky Henderson, or do we go... No, we're going to go Lee Perez. Safe pick, like what he has on the board. And we will now go with Rodrigo Ramirez. Willard McGee is still here. We will draft Willard McGee. And now this is where it looks not so good. We're going to take John Martins, though he will never play. Actually, we're going to take this guy, Gregory Tabarn, and John Martins is still there. That's why we took him. And that is it. So we are 46-51. Somehow the Cardinals are the team that is leading this division. Buchanan's hurt for the season. And the pitching has not been good. Still think we're in a good spot, though. I think that's the last draft we're going to do. Because I don't need to sit here and scout and draft guys anymore. If we do, we're just going to be waiting forever. We've got the core. Huh? What? Okay, he's coming up now. The beginning of next season. He is coming up. He is our first baseman. I don't think I've ever seen that. So basically they're like, yeah, Aaron McKnight, by the way, has no potential at all. He's just what he is. He's exactly that guy. He played at Cal and was exactly what they thought he was. Lee Perez was pretty decent. Rodrigo Ramirez, not as interesting as possible, but hey, 68 overall already. He's decently close. Willard McGee is 79, 78 potential, so already there. And then the longer guys are not that bad into Barn and everything. I've just never seen that before. Okay, I want to look at the other guys that we wanted. Didn't scout Ozzie Gonzalez. Not Mark Nelson. Marshall Wilcox, 82 potential, 75 overall, was a good player. And Peter Moyer, 87 potential, 65 overall. So, not mad at it. I think we made the right pick. I mean, it's kind of hard to say that we didn't. I've never really seen a prospect like Aaron McKnight before. What the hell is this guy? MVP, Rookie of the Year next season? Give it to me. Give it to me. All right. We'll see you at the end of the season, see if we make the playoffs. Continuing the definition of mid, the Cubs go 80-82, missing the postseason this year. As standings-wise, that puts us a little bit out. 6 games out. Not like it was really close, but yeah, we are right down the middle now. Award winners this season: Shohei Ohtani wins the MVP. With the runner-up being Brandon Marsh. I actually wanted to go sign Riley Green strictly because I know that he gets absolutely insane in every rebuild, and he wasn't actually that expensive, but it just didn't feel right knowing that. Chris McCarthy wins Cy Young for the Rockies, getting their first ever Cy Young winner. Yordan Alvarez wins the MVP in the AL, and the Cy Young goes to Logan Gilbert, winning back-to-back Cy Youngs. Taking a look at any awards for us, do I see any Cubbies? Gold Glove for Jose Soriano. We did not have anybody in the Rookie of the Year. There's Lamont Iden, the second baseman that we did not take. Though Case will be up next season. He just got injured this year, so he had no opportunity to come up at any point this season. Anybody else get an award for us? No. Okay. That's not necessarily great to see. Riley Green leads in batting average with William Contreras as the runner-up, and Vladdy on this side. Hits, Mountcastle leads in hits with 198. Yordan with 193. Homers, Shohei Ohtani with 47, and Yordan with 51. Not liking that I didn't see a single Cub anywhere. I do want to look at the team rankings quick. Batting average wise, we are 22nd. Not a very good offense, it looks like. What's our ERA at least at? Is our pitching decent? 11th. Okay. And that's because our bullpen has been very, very good. So our pitching is a little bit above average and our offense is below average. Taking a look at our pitching rotation, Jose Soriano, 3.29, a very good season from him as he wins his Gold Glove. Ben Brown was not good. Cade Povich was not good. Wezen Hunt was all right. Wisniewski, 194. A lot of innings for a relief pitcher. 194 innings, just ate up the innings because I didn't have a long reliever specifically, so he did that, and he did a fantastic job at it. 2.77 ERA for him. Valencia didn't play. Hort 12 in his 34. Liberatore 2.84. Gel with another great season from him. Tristan Beck 3.5. Puck with a 5.45, not good, and Munoz with a 4.5. Taking a look at who they sent down, was it Barton Higgins who was up? 306. That's not bad. Guy should be up, and then Rhea McDermott up 6 ERA. Yikes. From him, and Killian didn't play. Okay, and Wicks didn't play. All right, we might have to make some moves in the offseason for some pitching. I think we need some starters. I'm not necessarily confident in the guys that we have. All right, taking a look at AAA quick, see who we all have here. Foscue got sent down, though he hit 254. He shouldn't have been sent down. 254, 303 on base, 18 home runs. Good for him. Yeah, I didn't play Encarnacion again. And that is about it from the AAA standpoint. MLB standpoint, 252 with 20 runs for Christopher Morel. I think I might trade him this offseason. Yeah, he's losing the power against lefties. I don't necessarily see a place for him in this lineup as I need to start making room for the other guys to come up. Henry Malloy, Bobby Carver, 261 with 11 home runs, 17 doubles in his first full season. You'd like to see that. Yep. Okay, Bobby Carver. Don't know if he is a core like MVP race guy for us, but I think he's definitely a core shortstop. If it's not just a lefty platoon shortstop. Cartaya was very, very good. We've got 3 years left of him, and he is a bench catcher, 100%. Triantos was up on the lineup the whole season and played and got 10 at-bats. Nice. I think I'll trade him too, because he has no purpose then if he's not going to play. Cassie came up because we had some injuries in the outfield. Bush, another great season, getting on base a ton, is a potential now. Just continuing to do well. Matt Shaw, heard me talk about potentially moving on from him and played phenomenal. PCA 276, continuing to improve with 154 hits and 20 home runs. George Buchanan was injured for a large portion of the season, but still hit 235, 310 on base, 16 home runs. I want to see more. Alcantara, not great. That power really, really went down this season for him. Don't like to see that. Brock Wilkin, 262, 333 on base. Not bad. Tyler Black was all right. I think he's probably got to go. And Basayo is just 86. I did not think he was going to get to that rating. I think he was like a C potential when we traded for him. So that was 79, meaning that he's progressed up to at least an 86 potential. That is crazy growth from him. All right. So in the postseason, Orioles have defeated the Giants, finally getting the monkey off their back. As Andres Valor wins the World Series MVP. Alec Boehm in the postseason MVP on the NL side. They got Jung-Hoo Lee and Alec Boehm and Riley Green. This team is good, actually. And in the AL, Cowser, Kobe Mayo, and Heston Kierstead. All right. Might make some trades in the offseason. Get some pitching. And I think the lineup is pretty much ready to go. We're going to make things right, and we are going to trade 3 MLB caliber pitchers for 2 prospects, including Christopher Velasco. Another massive deal and a flipping of assets. We are going to throw Cade Povich, Chase McDermott, and Christian Encarnacion, who we stole on that waiver wire pickup, to get Noble Meyer, who I believe will be a really good pitcher, plus a pitching prospect, and Sixto Sanchez, because I think we actually need a real long reliever. And I think then the big move we are going to make this offseason in the trade market is we are going to trade for Nolan Jones from the Colorado Rockies. He has a lot of power potential for us, and I want to take advantage of that. We are going to trade Tyler Black, Justin Henry Malloy, and James Triantos, 3 guys who I think are good but aren't really a big part of this core, and get Nolan Jones. And needed to make one more move in order to try to get rid of Christopher Morel's contract. We are going to go pick up the best reliever on the market from the San Diego Padres in Bo Brisky, who had a .7 ERA last season and a 1.77, or 2 seasons ago, and a 1.77 the year before, or last season. We're going to bring him in for Morel, Franklin, and AJ Puck. The season is 2030, and safe to say, I think this team is now ready to compete. Now, one of the goals that we had was to potentially win an MVP with one of these players that we drafted, to be our Chris Bryant per se. However, I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen, simply because of just how the MLB is. And with the guys that we have, I think Buchanan could, but he has not performed to a level where I'm like, oh, MVP right there. We'll see. Now, what we have done is we have made a lot of moves. We made some trades. You saw all those. But we also made one massive signing, and we have a new ace in Paul Skeens here in the Cubs. Skeens, Soriano, Meyer, Wisenhunt, Horton with Velasco right here. Velasco will hopefully perform well in this long relief role, and we can move him into the starting lineup next season, taking the place of whichever one of these two don't do as well. We have Meyer, Soriano, and Skeens long term. Velasco is now a rookie, so I like that. Brisky is going to take the relief role simply because he has performed so well, and that'll kind of release some of the tension on Munoz, who did not do very well last season with 12 blown saves. The rest of the bullpen, the only other big thing is we're going to move Sixto into this long relief spot as well. So we have a righty long reliever, a lefty long reliever. We have Liberatore, Gel, and Wisniewski in this spot, and we have Munoz and Higgins, and then Brisky here. So, fantastic rotation. I don't even think that scratches the surface when we consider what this lineup looks like now. George Buchanan, our draft pick, who looks phenomenal. He has not necessarily performed as well as I would have liked yet, but he did deal with injuries last season, so that has hindered him. However, he is taken and will start in left field for this entire season. In addition, you have PCA, who has been very good for us thus far, and we have him locked up long term. Nolan Jones is an interesting new pickup that we are adding here for some power. Michael Busch will continue his role as the DH now, no longer playing first, because this phenomenal, ridiculous prospect that we just drafted, Aaron McKnight, is going to take the first base spot. This guy, I want to get Rookie of the Year, and I hope he can do that. Mlbtheshow is still going to play catcher with Cartaya on the bench, Wilkin, and then I brought up Elton Case to play second, and then we have a platoon for Matt Shaw and Bobby Carver at shortstop. That basically means that Alcantara kind of slips off and whatever, but that doesn't even come close to the fact that Richard Parker is right here, almost ready to come up. You also have Sato, Borden, Gutierrez, and then I think he's in AA. Oh no, Harold. And then Harold is right here as well, who looks more defensive, but I mean, utility guy off the bench with a potential. Love to see it. Pedro Ramirez. No, I'm just kidding. Not the guy that we drafted. So, and then Petachuk too. Why is he at catcher? I don't know. First overall pick there. This team is about to be stacked. We are going to contend this year, and then we will contend the year after, and then we will contend the year after. We are no longer going to do the drafts. I don't think we have any trades to make. If we are making trades, it is basically probably just these two guys. Yeah. This team's ready. Jumping in because I see, and I got the notification that Cade Horton is working on a no-hitter. I jumped in and watched the first 2 outs of the 9th, and we are going to watch the last one to see if he can finalize this no-hitter against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Cade Horton is our number 5 pitcher. That's a pop-up. George Buchanan, or yes, that's Buchanan out there, I think. Catches the ball. Cade Horton gets himself a no-hitter in 2030 against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Fantastic way to kind of cement yourself as I am keeping my spot. That's what Cade Horton said. This spot is mine. Okay, we weren't drafting. The computer drafted this. Wow. 97 and 65, we will be taking on the winner of the wild card playoff game as we finally put together a good team. Kind of what we intended to do. Built our young core, and then we added a bunch of pieces around it in order to attempt to go for a run. So now that we have a good team, let's go check and look at some awards and stats. So we got an award. Delivery Man of the Year for Bo Bresky. Cy Young for Velasco. Hank Aaron for George Buchanan. And Rookie of the Year for Aaron McKnight. So all around, fantastic season. Oh, runner up in the MVP for Buchanan. Okay, so we did talk a little bit about the whole like Chris Bryant MVP thing. I think because of that, we will count this because that top 3, I think, at MVP is fine. Technically, they had 2 guys who did that with Javier Baez and with Chris Bryant, but I am very happy to say that I think this is good enough to get also Hank Aaron award and be second in the MVP. Velasco with a 4.98 ERA wins the Cy Young because of the 17 wins, and Paul Skeens gets the 3rd place in that race. Batting title goes to Ryan Mountcastle. Bo Bresky wins the Reliever of the Year, kind of what we thought he would. Good trade that we made there. McKnight, Rookie of the Year with Velasco as the runner-up. Buchanan with a Hank Aaron. We should check the MVP. Francisco Alvarez gets it on the AL side. So it's funny. I talked a little bit about this in the whole, the NL is easier to win all these awards in, but if we were in the AL, we win MVP. So, because the Marlins are just that good. So, any Gold Glove, Silver Sluggers, any of that? Man, okay, the Marlins are good. Silver Slugger for Brian De La Cruz. Come on. You can't give a DH the MVP over an outfielder who does the same thing. It's just RBIs is the difference. So you know what? That's why we're going to... Aaron McKnight gets the runner-up in Silver Slugger. And he gets a Silver Slugger in the outfield. It's RBIs. Counting stats, dude. Paul Skeens lead the league in strikeouts and Buchanan in home runs. Bush in base on balls. Buchanan in slugging. Buchanan in on base. A lot of, yeah. Cubs team is good. Our young core is set and built. Doubles right there. Home runs. Boom. Buchanan leads the league in home runs. McKnight in 3rd there. So it's just RBIs. It's just RBIs. Miami didn't even make the playoffs. I'm just mad because that's ridiculous. All right, pitching rotation. First off, they sent anybody down. Wisniewski, not very good. Okay. Anybody else they sent down? Nope. Okay, Sixto, 286 in a long relief role with 100 innings. And Velasco, with 200 innings, gets a Cy Young in a long relief role with a 4.98 ERA and 219 strikeouts. I'll take it. Liberatore, good. Gel, good. Beck was up, meh, doesn't really do much. Higgins, nah, not that good. And Brisky with the reliever of the year. You have your actual probably Cy Young here in Paul Skeens, 286, 121 whip. Jose Siriano was good. Noblemeyer was meh, 466, not necessarily what you want to see. High whip, yeah, not that great. Wisenhunt was good, and Cade Horton, who threw a no-hitter this season, was also very, very good. So, fantastic pitching rotation. Let's go look at the lineup. First, Triple A, He only played 3 games. And is that the only one they sent down? Yep, it was. Alcantara, 217. This is the last year of his deal. I think he is going to walk. Whatever. Bobby Carver, 278, 343 on base percentage. That is a great pickup. Cartaya was decent on the bench, hitting 258. Bosque hit 281 with a 360 on base. PCA, 143 hits. Looks like he had a down year here, but hit 24 home runs, as it looks like some of our power came through. Then you've got George Buchanan, who didn't get as many RBIs because he was second in the lineup and not fourth. Meh. Brian De La Cruz. Nolan Jones hits 28 home runs. We brought him in for power, and he had it. 537 slugging, 900 OPS. Oh, what was Buchanan? We'll come back to Buchanan. Bush, 278, 33 home runs, 384 on base. As a rookie, McKnight is a 91. I think he had 86 potential, so he is above his potential right now. 36 home runs, 27 doubles, 303, 348 on base, 900 OPS in his rookie season. This dude is phenomenal. Love to see it. Basayo, 229, has not been that impressive. Okay, so he also went above potential. That makes sense then. Wilkin, 293, 359 on base. Case was all right in his rookie season, just needs to get on base more. And Matt Shaw has been all right as well. They platooned him and Carver, and Carver looks like he outperformed him. Okay. George Buchanan. Probably should have been the MVP. Played 131 games, so yeah, it's harder to get harder to get the counting stats if you play less games. 161 hits, 43 doubles, 48 home runs. Let's take a look at 1. OPS for him with 9.3 WAR, as he also was a very good fielder, only getting 2 errors. I need to go and look at the Marlins because I'm sorry if I'm really hammering in on this point. I don't like that a DH beat me here, especially because this team is crazy. They didn't make the playoffs? Okay. Brian De La Cruz played 159 games, 171 hits, 38 home runs, less OPS, less WAR, was a worse fielder. There is no way that Brian De La Cruz should have won the MVP over George Buchanan. Now, if you said Corey Prado, okay, I could argue that. That's okay. I don't necessarily agree. I still think it's Buchanan's award to win. That's ridiculous. I'm giving it to him. George Buchanan should have been and was robbed from a 2030 MVP. Okay, so it looks like our pitching rotation was fine. I think the only person I might need to send down is Beck. And bring up Wisniewski. No, we could just leave Beck. Whatever. Wisniewski wasn't good. And lineup wise, I didn't need to move anybody. Right? Yeah, because it was just Cassie. Or Casey? I don't know how you pronounce that. Alright. Well, let's see who we play. Oh, I'm in AAA. All right. St. Louis for game 1. It's 2030. We need to actually look at rosters. So St. Louis, our division rival, is right here. They have Ryan Mountcastle, who kind of dominated the awards and had a fantastic season and restricted our first baseman McKnight from doing as much because Mountcastle has been phenomenal for them in St. Louis. Just continuously finding great first basemen in St. Louis. It's just like a culture thing, I guess, for them. I'll actually do lineups instead. Mason Wynn, Ciani, Mountcastle, Casas, Corey Lee, and then if we look at their rotation, they have Reed Detmers, Tekoa Roby, Aaron Ashby is a reliever, and they're close. Okay, so we are a better team than them. Obviously Mountcastle could do really, really well, but I think our team should be able to beat them quite easily. So let's get ourselves to this matchup. So it's going to be Skeens versus Woodson, Soriano versus Detmers, and then Meyer versus Roby. Skeens versus Woodson for game 1 gives us a 4-8 loss as Tristan Beck gives up, yikes, in the 11th. We give up a good 4 runs. All right, game 2, Soriano versus Detmers, 8-2 victory. Thank you, Soriano, for pitching 8 innings. In game 3, Noble Meyer versus Takoa Roby is a 5-3 victory as Noble Meyer goes 7. And we get some offense here, looks like, in the 7th. All right, in game 4, Carson Wisenhunt versus Blake Walston is a 9-1 victory. We will advance to the NLDS. 6 runs in the 6th is what's going to do it for us, including a home run from Buchanan, 3 RBIs from Carver, PCA. Yeah. This team is great right now. All right, simulate to this. We have the Padres in this next game. Winner of the NLCS will go on to take on Seattle or Minnesota. So let's go look at their lineup and figure out what the Padres have to offer. Padres have Jose Caballero, Fraley. The main thing is this middle of this lineup: Chris Enriquez, Spencer Torkelson, Fernando Tatis, and Ethan Salas. That is a fantastic middle of the lineup, including, I don't think he's won an MVP, but he's been in the race. Has also played every game. Tatis, kind of regressing a little bit. And Torkelson has been good as well. McClanahan here as their ace, then Medina, Lesko, Snelling, with Ian Hamilton, who was the runner-up in the Reliever of the Year race. Interesting that we made a trade with this team. They got Christopher Morel, who played poorly. They also got AJ Puck, who played well. And I can't remember what else we gave them. Sorry. I apologize. I went on a tangent trying to figure out who the other player was, and I can honestly just figure it out myself. So we have the Padres in this next game. I gotta fix the rotation. Okay, Skeens versus McClanahan, Soriano versus Medina, and then Meyer versus Lesko. Game 1, Skeens versus McClanahan. That is going to be a 3-0 victory over the Padres as Skeens pitches basically a complete game shutout. Game 2, Soriano versus Medina, is a 4-1 victory as we take a 2-0 lead over San Diego here. In Game 3, Noble Meyer takes over Dylan Lesko. We are going to go Wisenhunt versus Snelling in Game 4. And we easily sweep the NLCS to take on the winner of the ALCS. Sorry, my brain is just not functioning. And the Mariners, let's go. Okay, so Cubs, Mariners, 2030 World Series. Let's go take a look at the Mariners roster. Lineups. Mariners are over here. Oh, they have Cole Young, prospect they brought up. Julio, still very, very good. He's at 200 home runs, 300 doubles. Okay. Canzone, Montez, Paredes they brought in, Baду they brought in, Harry Ford is now their starting catcher. In the rotation, they have Kirby, Miller, Hancock, Maldonado, Tompkins, with Mason Miller and Yohan Duran as their big relievers. They also have Blake Snell as a long reliever, it looks like. Interesting. Okay, so with that in mind, I think our team is ready. We just need to go once again back to the top and let Skeens pitch Game 1, and then Soriano, and then Meyer, and then Wisenhunt. And so Game 1 will be Paul Skeens versus George Kirby in order to get ourselves started for this World Series 2030. We lose 3-1. Looks like that was just 3 runs that were given up over the course of the game. We just didn't get a whole lot of offense, and Kirby only gave up 1 run, whereas Skeens gave up 2. All right, Game 2, Soriano versus Bryce Miller. It is a 2-0 victory, getting a fantastic pitching outing from Jose Soriano. Game 3, Noble Meyer versus Emerson Hancock is a 3-0 victory. This is a non-offensive series. I'm going to say that. This game is going to be like 11-10. 1-0. As they only get 5 hits. They do not have a very powerful offense. We are going to go play next game, quick manage. In Game 5, we are in T-Mobile Park. We will go Paul Skeens for Game 5. I'm sorry, Mr. Horton. I also want to check, because we do have bench bats that are good. Nah, we'll do that. All right. Solo home run from Nolan Jones to start off the game, giving us a 1-0 lead. Julio gets themselves in as they take a 2-1 lead off of Paul Skeens. With a man on first and second, Matt Shaw flies out. Come on, Skeens. Gives up a double and then another. Oh my God. Okay. Skeens, not a good start here for him. We do have a man on first and second for McKnight, who gets a fielder's choice. I think we're going to make a pitching change, and we will go to Velasco. I don't have a whole lot of confidence for the rest of this game. And a double play will not do that for you. Velasco does well to at least get us through that, but not seeing a lot of... solo home run for Michael Bush. Single for Basayo. There's another run. It's now 6-3 for Case. 4-6. Is that a righty or a lefty? That is a righty. We will stay with Matt Shaw, who gets that. PCA strikes out. Come on, Buchanan. Fielder's choice. Okay, we will keep him in because he is dominating right. Oh my God, Julio is killing us. We are going to switch here to Beck to get out of that. Julio by himself is trying to take us down. Thankfully, we get another run from Wilkin. Shaw gets out. We have a man on first and second for Buchanan, who gets a single. Bases loaded for Nolan Jones against Mason Miller. Strikes out. Yeah. And another. Oh, my God. Julio, man. We'll see what we can do. They're going Tom Cosgrove. And we got a man on first. Starting to rally. Get a score on an error. He's a lefty. Pinch hit. Carver. Grounds out. Okay. Julio just killed us in that game. All right. So we will advance day. And we will play this next one with a quick manage. We will go. We are in Wrigley now. Jose Soriano, who has been phenomenal thus far in this postseason, gets past the dangerous Julio. I might have to intentionally walk him with how great he's been. Fielder's choice gets us through that. All right. He flies out, thankfully. Walk, single. We've got 2 men on. Do I want to? No, we will swing. That's a single. Buchanan with the bases loaded. 1-run score on a walk. Nolan Jones. 3-run score, taking a 4-0 lead. That is a great start as we have man in the corners for Wilkin. 1-run scores on a Akil Baddoo triple. We get through the front of the order. Man on first and second for Basayo, who gets a fielder's choice. 2-run home run for Montez. We need to make a pitching change. We will go Sixto. Come on, Sixto. Who gets through that? So it is a 1-run game as they bring in Blake Snell. Sixto gets through that. It is the bottom of the 7th. Buchanan gets a double. Nolan Jones flies out, and 1-run scores with a single from Bush. Another single from McKnight gives us a man on first and second as Basayo does not get through that. We will make a pitching change. We will go to Munoz, who gets through that. It is the bottom of the 8th. Solo home run for Case gives us a 6-3 lead. In the top of the 9th, we will make a pitching change going to Bo Brieske, who walks the first batter, gets another walk, a fly out. Do not get a double play. a single from Julio. I think we need to enter. We need to watch because with the man on first and second, only up by 2, this is our shot here to actually see what we can do to end this game. So, first, team select. Come on, Brisky. Reliever of the year to win the World Series in Chicago. There's a ball low. For Brisky. There's a man on first and second. This is Dominic Canzone. Ball high.
The last thing he wants is to hit the ball on the ground, but I wouldn't expect many pitches up
2-0 count.
They'll be pitching for a double play in this spot.
Fouled off. That's a 2-1 count. I really need a double play here.
They hope he's the guy
Brisky.
to spark a comeback. He tends to play better when his team is behind,
With the pitch.
so why not him?
That is a pop-up to Buchanan, who hits the catch, throws it to third. Cannon of an arm. A little inaccurate, but now it is 2 outs. Who are they bringing in? Martin Higgins.
I can't imagine any save is an easy
I hate it. I hate it. Guess it's a lefty matchup. Lazaro Montes versus Martin Higgins.
It's always high stress. Let's see what he's got.
Ball outside or ball inside. 1-0 count for the Lazaro Montes against Martin Higgins with the pitch. That ball is up, and it is caught, and the Chicago Cubs are World Series champions. They knew better than I did.
A huge congrats to the World Series champs. This was an incredibly special team all season long, and what I love most is that these old fans that supported this team game in and game out, they got to witness it in their own ballpark. So many memories over this season in this game. This city.
I think the best part about this is that this is a pretty young core too. This team wins a World Series in basically their first year together as a whole team. Martin Higgins with the save, Elton Case with a home run to kind of cement that at the end of that. The Cubs win the World Series despite Julio doing everything he can to torture us. Nolan Jones wins World Series MVP, PCA with the postseason MVP. And Dominic Canzone on the other side with postseason MVP. So that is our World Series championship. We have done that. What I'm going to do, however, because I want to see if we can possibly get it, is I'm just going to go one more season. We're just going to kind of sim it. I want to see if they can repeat. This team is so good that I'm curious if they can build a short little dynasty here in Chicago. And so I want to see just what they can do with this team, especially because we've got guys that haven't even come up yet. We have the first overall pick, Pidaychek, who has still not played yet. We've got guys like the utility shortstop, Harold Perez hasn't come up yet. You've got the first baseman guys in Sato and Borden who still haven't come up. There's a lot left to this team. There's still so much they could do. None of the pitchers have come up yet. Only Velasco. I think we'll go one more season. Cade Horton threw another no-hitter. 2 no-hitters for Cade Horton. Only giving up 1 walk, too. So, close to another, almost a perfect game, too. In 2031, the Cubs go 95-67 and win the division. Question is, did we get any award winners? We did. Hank Aaron goes to George Buchanan. And batting title goes to George Buchanan, and he is the runner-up for the MVP for the 2nd straight year, which allows him to not get the Triple Crown. However, Enriquez probably deserved it this time around. Bresky almost with the reliever of the year. No rookie of the year race for us this season. But, yeah, team's good. Taking a look at league leaders, Wisenhunt with ERA. Wow. Wisenhunt, and then Buchanan, who has another ridiculous season, hitting 37 home runs, 56 doubles, 182 hits. He only played 132 games, by the way, and got all of this done with another 1. OPS and a 9.9 WAR season here at center field. Just kind of putting up some crazy years here No MVPs yet, though I would say that he is in the running or could be deserving of one. Especially because we talked about the last season one where he probably did deserve one. Taking a look at the rotation, Skeens with a little bit of regression. Soriano was good. Wisenhunt, 256. I'll take it. Velasco, no Cy Young for him this season as he stays in the long relief. And bullpen is amazing once again. This team is very, very good. Harold Perez was called up. He played a bench utility role where he averaged 247 and 313. Did we have any of these other guys up? Poe came up, hit 400 when he was up. And I want to say that is it, because I don't think Borden did. No, but Richard Parker came up. Richard Parker was up this season for his rookie year and hit 250 with it, 289 on base. Pitacek had 261 average, not bad for him. Carver 279. Cartaya as a bench guy. Cassie didn't play. PCA with a 270 average. Buchanan, phenomenal season. Jones, Bush, McKnight had a little bit of a down year. Still hit 31 home runs, but yeah, I mean, we saw him when we saw his potential was where it was last season. That there was no way that was going to be sustainable. Sayo, not a good year from him. Wilkin was good. Case was a little bit down, and Shaw was the best shortstop of the bunch. So let's see if they can repeat. We are not going to really jump in. We are just going to sim through and see what we get. So first, let me make a quick adjustment to the rotation and lineup. I want to bring back down. Well, first off, the one I want to bring up is, I think I want to bring up Perez out of the playoff roster, and we will bring down Beck. We will also bring up Parker and bring down Cassie. Or Casey. I think it's Casey. Okay. So with that now set, and that lineup is set, let's go take a look. So we are a bye with the 2 seed this year. We were playing the winner of Philly and San Diego. Hopefully this can be another playoff run. A rematch for San Diego versus us right here. Skeens versus Bradley. Let's just sim to at least game 3. That is a 2-1 lead. Can Horton take out Taj Bradley? And that will get them that, giving us the San Francisco Giants, in which we are going to make our pitching adjustment. Actually, Wisenhunt was good. You know what? We're not even going to make any changes. We will go Wisenhunt, Skeens, and we will go to game 4. Actually, let's go to game 3 in case we lose the first 3. 2-1 lead. Noble Meyer. 3-1 lead. Cade Horton in game 5 loses that one 0-8 as he gets lit up. In game 6 against Ranger Suarez, they win that and will be taking on the winner of the Royals and Yankees as their back-to-back season. Let's go take a look at the Yankees quick. Let's see if we can get a back-to-back World Series for the Chicago Cubs. Yankees have Skubal as their ace. Just taking a look through their lineup. Looks like Volpe is still here, is good, and Judge is not on this playoff lineup. So, we'll go to game 3 again. They win the first 3, and in game 4, Cade Horton versus Vierling loses that one. Liberatore seems to have lost that one. Another loss, that's 3-2. Skeens versus Matt Manning. Another loss. Do not get reverse swept, please. Soriano versus Davy Garcia. Okay, no reverse sweep. All right, Cubs win the World Series 4-1 in that last game. Thank that. All right, awards. Bobby Pitacek wins the World Series MVP. Aaron McKnight with the playoff MVP as the Cubs win back-to-back. Can they make this a dynasty? I think we'll go. I said I was only going to go one more. Let's go to 2034. That's 5 seasons, right? So that's 5 seasons. How many can they win in this 5-season window where they have this young core to build around? And another division title at 94-68. The Cubs continue to dominate. We are going to take a look. This is 3 years in a row, 3 division titles in a row since we decided to do our big purchase. We have an award winner, another Delivery Man of the Year for Bresky, a Cy Young for Paul Skeens, and an MVP. So we don't even have to kind of go with the whole, like, did George Buchanan win it? No, he gets to be the Javier Baez in this situation because Aaron McKnight is our MVP. As he hits 47 home runs in this season. That's what I like to see. And we have, what do we got for, like, Silver Sluggers and stuff? McKnight. And you can see the runners up in Buchanan and Jones. So this team is good. Again, 90 some wins. I already forgot how many it was. 94. And lineup wise, good all around. Who got sent down? Michael Bush got sent down? What? Okay. We will adjust the lineup before this playoff run. But Bush, 21 home runs, 257. This is the last year of Michael Bush. Harold Perez, 319, 360 as our utility bat. Sato came up for a while, I know. Gutierrez was up, but he never really... Oh, yeah, he didn't really play much. I think Borden was up for a little while. Yeah. All right. Pitching rotation. Soriano got sent down. 362, and he got sent down. All right, that totally makes sense. MLB though. Velasco 431. Liberatore, yeah, bullpen was not as consistent besides Bruschi, who I think his contract is also up, so I think he's done too. Skeens, Meyer, Horton, Wisenhunt, all very, very good. I'm going to go fix this, and then we will see if the Cubs can three-peat. And for a third straight season, we have the San Diego Padres. We will sim to Game 3, in which we get a clean sweep and will advance to the second round to play the Milwaukee Brewers. We will once again go to Game 3. I think we will just continue to run the rotation as is, making no changes. We are up 2-1, 2-2 tie, 3-2, and for a Game 7, Chicago Cubs versus Milwaukee Brewers to take on the winner between Baltimore and Seattle. We win, going on to 3 straight World Series to play Baltimore. We are going to go to Game 3 once again. Winning Game 1 and 2. We have Game 4 here. That is a loss right there. Another loss, losing 3 straight at home, in fact. And now we have Game 6 here in Baltimore. That is a loss as we lose that one and do not find a way to three-peat. However, I do believe this dynasty will continue. We will go to the offseason and see you once again in 2033. And 87-75, winning the division for 4 straight years. However, this time not getting the bye. So this team was a little bit worse this year, it looks like, getting the 3 seed now. But we still get an award winner, and that's another MVP, but this time from Elton Case, who hits 47 home runs as he gets some power now. Another guy, and he gets a Gold Glove. Oh, wow. Yeah, he got a lot of power this season. 98 already. Sign him long term. Yeah, this core is crazy. So let's make sure that everything is set, because we don't necessarily need to look. I mean, okay, team wasn't as good this year. Buchanan is, Buchanan. What happened, buddy? Where's this? Why is it here? This is WAR look like. Oh my God, drop off. Okay. And McKnight does not get a good runner. I mean, he does. 38. So, everybody else is here. Harold Perez is here. Okay. Let me go look at the pitching rotation. Oh my God. What happened here? What did they do? Cade Horton got sent down. Wisenhunt got sent down. Soriano got sent down. 311. Why? Okay. I'll fix this. And then they'll make another playoff run. See if they can do it again. Meyer, Skeens, Horton. Let's see if we can get through round 1. Okay, we do get through round 1. We're taking on the Rockies in round 2. We just gonna go. Yeah, we'll just go same thing. Horton, Wisenhunt, Soriano. We will go to game 3, and with a clean sweep. Tell me it's the Padres. It's always the Padres. Meyer, Skeens, Horton. Can we ruin their lives again? Let's see here. That's the Cubs. That's all we do. We need to ruin the Padres every time. 2-1 lead. 2-2. 2-3 as we lose the middle 3 games. We win that one. Game 7. Skeens versus McClanahan. We lose that one. And with, oh my god, with a go-ahead in the 9th. Okay, so that's still only 2 rings then. It's the Blue Jays defeat the Padres, which, by the way, I do have to show you this. The Blue Jays happen to have Michael Busch. One more season. See if we can cement the dynasty with 3 rings. I need it. And for year 5, our last year that we are going to focus on in this potential dynasty run, or 2034, we are 97-65, winning our division for the 5th straight season, and getting a bye as well. Taking a look at awards, we have a Cy Young from Noble Meyer, a Hank Aaron from Aldon Case, and another MVP from Aldon Case, meaning that we have locked up, well, 3 MVPs in a row for our Chicago Cubs players. Will Haley with a runner-up in the reliever of the year. Looks like he beat out Lamont Iden in the Hank Aaron Award. With 50 home runs for Aldon Case. Very, very good. And Bobby Petachek is now a Silver Slugger as well. So we have drafted in this core Petachek, who is a Silver Slugger and has potential to get himself into an MVP race, though I doubt it with the way that he performs. Plus, you've got 2-time MVP Elton Case. You have the 1-time MVP in Arthur McKnight, and you have the 2-time runner-up MVP in George. Oh my God, my brain does not work. George. Who? Why does my brain not work? George Buchanan. Look, you know, it's been a long sim. It's been a long sim. All right. So, with that, I think that we have cemented this team. I need to go in. Let's just take a look at the lineup because that's the... Okay, who'd they send down? Bobby Carver? Who is down to an 80 overall. That was our first draft pick that we made. He is regressing hardcore. Okay, hit 274, 332 on base. Already regressing. Carmen Castillo didn't play. Borden, 291, 350 average. Interesting that Carver's already regressing. He's in his last year too, so he's probably out the door for them. For the first pick was the least valuable. However, it's funny, we took him, and then they also got the Cy Young guy in, oh my God, they sent Horton down again. But they also got a Cy Young and Velasco, who's the guy we passed on, and then we traded for. So, Chris McCarthy is here. Okay. So, let's fix this lineup and see if we can win our 3rd World Series in 5 seasons, or at least make it to our 4th after losing in Game 7 last year. And guess who I see on that stupid wild card thing? San Diego again. And once again, we get to play San Diego in the first round, per usual. Running with Meyer, McCarthy, then Horton to start our go. We're gonna go to Game 3. We are up, or we are down 1-2. We win Game 4, and we win Game 5, taking on the Brewers in the next series. There's a nice little comeback there, thanks to an absolute, looks like, you know, grudging of Shane McClanahan, though it's not like we did much better. All right, Meyer versus All right, this is a rivalry too. So we've got 2 rivalry series in a row here. Brewers defeat the Cubs. That is 2-1. 2-2. 3-2. And we advance, taking on the Seattle Mariners for a rematch of the 2030 World Series for this upcoming. Yeah, okay. Do we want to go to Noble Meyer? I want to win this one. We want to win this one. Let's just do this. Who got lit up the most? Cade? Sorry, Cade. Yeah. McCarthy versus Maldonado. It's a 15 to nothing. Oh my God. Okay, offense. Came from 2 home runs from George Buchanan, 7 RBIs from George Buchanan as well. Sorry for forgetting your name, buddy. All right, Noble Meyer versus David Wilson. That is a 2. Oh my God, what is our offense? I love it. 15 to 2. Game 4. That was a massacre. That was a massacre. Oh my God. 15-9, 15-9. Okay. With a clean sweep over Seattle. George Buchanan wins World Series MVP. Bobby Petachik wins playoff MVP. I think that says enough for us. I'll let your imagination do the rest, as this team is starting to get a little older, but I think a dynasty. I think this is a dynasty. I think this is better than the 2016 run, to be honest. I think 3 is better than 1. I don't know if that's saying much. But look, we attempted to build around a core of 3 infielders. We did that plus an outfielder. We wanted 1 MVP, or at least to get in 1 MVP race. We had 3 guys in an MVP race, including a 2-time MVP and a 1-time MVP. And Petachik might end up being in a race soon himself. That doesn't even include the fact that there's still more guys coming. Harold Perez as that utility bat is still there. Borden is a little old at this point, but Richard Parker is 24. He could be something. And there's more. There's more guys coming. There's Castillo, who's already an 80 overall. This Sherwood Fields guy is a 78. There's the left fielder that I showed, Sherman Mortensen, who's got 99 potential. This dynasty could last forever. This could rival the late 90s Yankees and the Braves, and 4 World Series appearances, 3 World Series in 5 years. I think it's safe to say the Chicago Cubs built a dynasty here in our Chicago Cubs rebuild. That will be all from me. I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you are a huge George Buchanan or an Elton Case fan now, like the 5'7" second baseman who just hits homers, and that's all he does. All right. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Adios.
I can't believe I let you get away.